Hey there, and welcome to another episode of your favorite libertarian. In today's episode, we are going to be taking this 13.9 and this suppressor to the range with some friends. They also have some suppressed stuff, so we're going to be shooting a lot of different things, getting a lot of sound comparisons for you, and having some fun. One big disclaimer before we get too far into the video, and that is I'm filming this on a camera and it's not going to pick up the exact sound that you're hearing in real life, so just keep that in mind as you're watching the video. If it did, then you would go deaf watching the footage of a 10.3 inch setup without a suppressor on it, shooting in an indoor range. Let's get a little sciencey for a second and talk about the test conditions that we're going to have for this range day. We're going to be using the same ammunition for all the 5.56 guns, and that is going to be Wolf Gold. And we're also shooting at the same exact time in the same exact indoor range on the same exact day. I'll set up each shooting clip before we do it so you understand what the comparisons are going to be, because there's a bunch of different variations of how we're going to be comparing these different setups. Also, while you're watching the video, let me know in the comments section if there's anything that you didn't see as far as testing went that you would like to see in a future video. And who knows, maybe we can make that happen. Yeah, let's meet our contestants. Starting off with my rifle, this is the HUXWRX Systems TSR 15S 5.56 223. The 13.9 inch barrel is pin and welded to the HXQD flash hider, and that couples very nicely with the HXQD 5.56 Ti can that I have and you've seen other videos on. As far as accessories go, mostly Magpul furniture, BCM gunfighter grip, Mod Light OKW on an Aristoc 45-degree mount, and a prism scope that is 5 power by Primary Arms and has the ACSS Aurora reticle on a Cram 7.0 riser. This is one of my buddy's guns. It's got a lot going on. He sent me a full list of all the things that are in it, so if you want to see all that, if you want a dedicated video, let me know. But for the most part, to really oversimplify it, Ripcord Industries upper with a bunch of cool stuff, Sons of Liberty Gunworks lower with a bunch of cool stuff. It's got a pin and welded 13.9 barrel with the Surefire SFMB, which is their muzzle brake, and then the SOCOM Mini 2 is the suppressor of choice. It's also running a Night Force 1x8. And now for something old and something new. This is the Daniel Defense DD M4V7, 5.56 as well, 10.3 inch barrel. The muzzle device is the Breakout 2.0, and this is an older can. This is the AAC M4 2000. We've also got a Cloud Owl, an EOTech, and some other cool accessories to make this a pretty cool setup. We just had to throw a bolt gun in there for you. We have the SIG Cross chambered in 308. It's a 16-inch barrel, and the muzzle device that it is using is the Cherry Bomb by Q, also coupled with the Q Trash Panda, which is one of their 30 cal cans. If you're wondering what that giant optic is on top, that is the Arkin Optics 4-16 by 50. And as you can see, it's got a lot of really cool adjustment points for the stock, and I'm sure it'll sound pretty cool. Now let's find out what these sound like suppressed and unsuppressed back to back, so you can get a really good idea of the sound difference when having the cans on and having the cans off. Now to compare how quiet each one of these cans are on their individual setups, we're going to be comparing them back to back to back to back, all suppressed. And now just for funsies, we're going to compare all of the different setups to this one. And lastly, we'll see how these sound doing kind of rapid fire, back to back to back to back, suppressed. After range report. Let's start with how this setup performed. This is already a really soft shooting system because you have the A5 buffer system that is super soft shooting. Ejection pattern is coming out right about here, the sweet spot. What's great about this can, which I'm sure you've heard about from my other videos on this can specifically, is that it doesn't add really any back pressure to the system. So if you already have a properly tuned gun, this is going to work really well and not make any big changes there. The flow through technology is pretty wild. I also noticed, and maybe this was just me, but I noticed that as I shot faster, it seemed to get quieter. And I don't know if that's a real thing or if it was just my perception. Maybe you can tell in the video footage, but that's something that I noticed that I thought was pretty interesting. I also think, just from shooting this and watching the footage, that this was the least gassy out of all the different systems. When shooting unsuppressed, this did a really good job of hiding the flash, as opposed to some of the other setups that were on the range today. Specifically, the AAC had a huge fireball because it's a 10.3 inch barrel and it had a break on it essentially. Those kind of act as sacrificial baffles, and so it does help when it's suppressed, but if it's not suppressed, you're gonna get a really big fireball. Also, with the Surefire muzzle brake, that one similarly had so much concussive blast that it shot the cap for the flashlight off of the flashlight and onto the range floor. The Cherry Bomb, I think, was a good mix. It did a pretty good job of keeping the flash down, but also was a little bit of a comp, so maybe a happy medium there. But otherwise, I think this did really well unsuppressed, if you guys are even watching this to see any unsuppressed footage. Now let's talk about the other setups at range day and give you my thoughts on those from witnessing them being shot. I, of course, didn't shoot them myself. The Daniel Defense and the AAC combo had the best decibel reduction, at least to my ear, when watching the shooter shoot the shooty thing. And it also had the most gas to the face. I mean, it was like a plume of gases. Speaking of plumes of smoke, if you're looking to protect yourself from that and really anything else, you can go to my link in the description or in the pinned comment. Check out all the links that help support my channel, save you money, and get you the stuff that you need. Clicking on the Mirror Safety link, you'll find tons of PPE equipment to help protect you from all sorts of airborne contaminants. Everything from really cool military grade masks to things to protect your kids and even your dog. Click on that link, check them out, and tell them your favorite libertarian sent you. As far as the Ripcord Sons of Liberty Gunworks combo with the Surefire on it, I think that did really well for its size. The length of the can is not as long as this can is, so it's generally not going to be as quiet, and I don't think it was as quiet, but it's not really a fair comparison because you've got more baffle area to work with. In this case, it's more flow-through spirally area to work with, opposed to the Surefire, which is a short can. HUXWRX, if you're watching this and you want me to compare the 556K, the new 3D printed model, and you'd like to send that to me, feel free to do so and we'll get a better comparison for you. Also, I think it's safe to say that bolt guns sound really cool suppressed. And I think the combination of the muzzle brake by Q, the can by Q, which was the Trash Panda, sounded the best out of all of them as far as just the sound of the suppression. And also I think that one might have been the quietest out of all of them. It had a longer barrel, so you didn't have as much unburnt gas to deal with, and the can was pretty big too. So I think all of that, considered being a 30 cal can, being a little bit bigger, being a little bit longer of a can, and having a longer barrel, I think all of those factors led to it being probably the quietest out of all the ones we were looking at today. All right, that's going to do it for me and this Suppressed 13.9 and our range day suppressor extravaganza. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like. It really helps. All that algorithm stuff lets YouTube know that you care about this type of content and you want to see more of it. And also, if you want to help my channel monetarily just by buying the cool stuff that you're already going to buy, clicking on my links in the description or in the pinned comment below really help with that, like a ton. Tons of cool stuff, exclusive discount codes. Thanks in advance for checking those out. You guys are awesome. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment section below. If you have any prayer requests, I also take those. Those go in the comment section as well. Be sure to stay tuned to this series as there will be more suppressor content and we'll have a lot of fun along the way. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay free. God bless.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.